What's going on, movers? Happy Wednesday, happy hump day. I hope you're having a great day, a great week, getting ready to play some golf if you haven't already played this week. But what I want to talk about today, because it's been a little while since I put out some teaching content. We've done a lot of content lately about mindset and about wellness, but not necessarily some tactical things that you can take with you and apply right away to play better golf. And this idea comes from a lesson that I just gave yesterday. So I was just up at Philly Cricket Club. I got a new client up there. We did a playing lesson. And what's interesting, if anybody here has ever done a playing lesson, I'd love to get your experience and your take on it, because some people love them, some people hate them. But from a coach's perspective, doing a playing lesson is a tricky thing, because you want, at least I find myself, I want to say a lot of things, but on the course playing is not the time to say them. So it's all about how can you change the way of thinking in play so that you're not reinventing the wheel, you're just getting the most out of what you already have to work on, right? And when you want to make technical changes, that's great for off-season stuff coming up, especially depending on where you are. If you're in the Americas, if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, the off-season's coming, just being real with you, but it is coming. So right now is all about playing and maximizing the time that you are out on the course and squeaking out every stroke that you can from what you're already working with. Then come the off-season, cool, we can start dialing in some technical changes as needed. But what I want to talk about today is not technical at all. And this is a simple tip that will improve your short game without having to change anything. And this comes from straight out of the playing lesson that we did yesterday. Because this particular client of mine, while he's a pretty decent golfer, we could tell just from the analysis that we did benchmark testing all around his game, and we found out that, believe it or not, he can shave over 20 shots per round just by cleaning up his short game and his putting. And again, it's not that it's that bad, but when you look at it, 20 shots is just about a shot a hole. And whether it's chipping the ball closer, making more putts, they go hand in hand. But we don't want to make that change while in the middle of playing. We really want to just say, hey, what can we do right now? And one of the things that's important to understand when it comes to short game is that there's no right way to get the job done. You look at guys like Phil Mickelson, super creative around the greens. He's hitting it high, he's hitting it low. There's no one size fits all here. So what we want to do is actually look at the specific situation that's in front of us, because right here, out of this fringe going up onto the green is different than if I just move a couple feet to the left. It's different if I move even farther to the left. It's different if I move even farther. All of these are different shots that may require you to swing a little bit differently. And really, what we're talking about is how many options do you have, right? Because sometimes, just by the nature of the conditions that you're on, you need to throw the ball high up in the air. Sometimes you can roll it. If you're in a situation like I'm standing right here on the fringe looking up, you can do a number of things. You can go high or low. Sometimes if you have to go over a bunker like over there, you're limited. But here's the deal, is rather than getting overwhelmed with, okay, I need a high shot, I need a low shot, I need this, which club do I use, blah, 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 blah. To make it super easy, especially if you don't have much time to practice, the thing to understand is that you already know exactly what to do. Now, whether or not you can execute on it, that's a different thing. And one of the trainings I talk about in the Tour Shot Golf Academy is how to commit to a shot and execute on it, even if your technical skills aren't the best. And what I mean by that is whether you pull the shot off or not, you always want to go into it with the intention of, this is the shot I'm trying to hit. And if you have focus and intention behind every shot, you can learn from it and actually speed up your ability to play better golf. You can learn and improve as quickly as possible, so long as every shot has focus and intention. So what we need to do is look at the situation that's in front of us and instinctively figure out what we need to do. What I mean by that is we can take a golf ball in our hands and we can toss it or roll it. You can roll this ball on the ground. It's going to release up toward the green. You can pop it up in the air like a pitch shot. It's going to react a little bit differently. But in both cases, the ball ends up pretty close to the hole. So the question that we want to ask ourselves, and this is where the super simple tip comes into play, is you want to ask yourself, how would you toss the golf ball? Because instinctively, you know what to do. You've been throwing and tossing and climbing and all these things for your entire life. That's natural. Now, golf might be new to you and you're still working on developing those motor control skills, but intuitively, you know how to throw the ball. So you know, okay, this is a low running shot, this is a high shot, and I guarantee you, you can probably toss the ball better than you can hit it with a club. Now, I bring this up because once you've identified the type of shot that you're trying to hit, whether it's the low runner, the high shot, out of the rough, over the sand, doesn't matter. Once you've identified what that shot generally looks like, you choose the club that you need that will get the job done. And you can have one swing that produces many different results. If you have 2, 3, 4 wedges in your bag, you inherently have 4 different shots that you can play around the green. Because it's important to understand that it is not up to you to make the ball go up in the air. That is not your job. That is the club's job. That's why you have 14 of them. They all do something slightly different. But you can get different results from just choosing a different club. Now, which club you should choose comes down to the shot that's in front of you. And the shot that's in front of you will tell you what your best chances are. Now, if you're listening to this and saying, that's great, Blaine, but I struggle. I can't hit bump and runs. I can't hit the high flop shot. I struggle out of the bunker. Well, look, you don't have to have all of those different shots. You just need to have one of them, right? And that's why I'm a big proponent of bump and runs from anywhere that you can, because the technique of a bump and run and getting the confidence to hit the middle of the club face, that will scale over time as you go into a bigger swing with higher loft and everything like that. But as long as you're comfortable just finding the middle of the club face, heck, from right here, if I were playing this and I wasn't feeling good with my wedges, I would take a hybrid and I would putt it up onto the green all day because I can and I know how to play that shot because I practice it. But in my mind, that bowling motion is much more natural for me than trying to throw it up in the air. And obviously I can hit both of them, but the situation determines which shot I'm going to do. So your quick tip for today that I want you to implement right away is when you go out to the range, when you go to the practice green, when you go to your club, grab a handful of balls, toss them around the green, get comfortable with visualizing different shots. If I go at this trajectory and land it on this spot on the hill, it's going to react this way, it's going to run out this much. And just get those changes in your mind. Then when you're practicing, choose the club that best matches the shot that you're tossing. If you're trying a little low runner shot, if you feel good with that bowling motion, don't take a 60-degree lob wedge and try to hit a low running shot because you're setting up against the grain. That's when you pick a pitching wedge, a 9-iron, an 8-iron, a hybrid. Keep it low because that's the shot that you see in your mind, the one that's intuitively, that makes sense for you. So one of the quickest things you can do to improve your game is not to reinvent the wheel, is to master what you already know. And if you go into every shot with focus and intention, you can learn from every shot, speed up your progress quicker, and that's how you learn those other shots. When you make consistent contact with a chip shot or a bump and run, that consistent contact will translate into a high pitch shot. But if you're not making consistent contact, then you are screwed with a high pitch shot because it's everything. Consistent contact dials in how far the ball is going to go, what trajectory it comes out, right? That's the only way you can make different swings and get different results. Otherwise, many of you might be watching this and saying, look, with my lob wedges, sometimes they're thin, I blade them over the green, sometimes they're heavy and they're chunky and they don't go anywhere, and it feels like I'm making the same swing. Well, it's probably because your contact isn't consistent enough. So don't try to get cute with it, try to be consistent with it. Imagine the shot that you want to hit, toss balls to feel it, choose the club that will get the job done for you, and then don't try to get fancy, try to get cute, just own it. If you only have one shot around the green, play your angles, miss in the right place, own that shot, and I promise you, you will score lower. You will save shots because you're aligning yourself with what you feel good about, what you feel confident in, what you can do time and time again, and then save the technique changes for later in the season or even better in the off season when score isn't something that you can focus so much on. Anyway, I got to get headed out, everybody. I hope you're having a great Wednesday, a great hump day. Get out there, go practice, go play this weekend. Let's get a conversation going down below. Let me know what you're playing or where you're playing, and let me know how this quick tip has helped you out. As always, everybody, move better, play better.